So this is where we are. We've got almost all of the pieces printed. I'm printing 2 more for the Z-axis. These guys were the largest. They took about 11 or 12 hours each, so I printed these overnight. As far as the base here, I had a large oriented strand board box that I've pulled out so we can use more of this space efficiently. Printing up one of the last 2 parts. And for the base, we've got this about as level as we're going to get. The next step is to cut down the conduit. So for a cut area of 2 feet by 3 feet, we're going to cut our conduit out. This table would support a 4x4 machine, but the way I want to design the enclosure is going to take up some of the space in the back. Basically, it's going to be a box that pivots up in the back. So we've got our conduit here. I bought 3 10-foot lengths, which will give us a little bit of extra, not a whole lot, but enough to cover this cut area, this 2 foot by 3 foot cut area. So basically we need 3 that are about 34.5, 3 that are 46.5, 2 that are 11.5, and 4 that are 3.5. I'm okay with a little bit extra there. So let's line this up and get cutting. And those are all the conduits cut down and cleaned up. And this is where we are. We've got 2 more pieces that are being printed, and then we'll have all the parts. For building the frame, these have been glued up and bolted down, and the 4 corner supports screwed together. So we've got the bars just seated on right now. The next thing is to put some bolts in and hold these down. Moving on to the gantry. As far as putting these nut traps on, I found it easy to just put a little bit of tape on the back because these are loose here, and I didn't want to put glue in there because that would change the way it kind of sits, and I wanted it to move around a little bit. So a little bit of painter's tape holds that there. This is the first side that's done, and we'll go to the next rail. And that shows the motor mount on there, and we're keeping this really loose so we can put the top parts on. This is a very smart way to go. I like that design feature. It's a good way to hold it. And that's the Z axis. This coupler right here does double duty. It also keeps pressure down on that bearing. When I first looked at the plans and the pictures, I was trying to figure out how that was going to stay in place. And that holds it down nice and tight there. Very solid unit here. A whole lot stiffer and beefier than I initially thought. So we're going to move on to the center part next. Moving on to the various parts for this middle assembly. And then we've got our Z assembly into the center part here. This is interesting. The instructions or the pictures are very good on the Vicious One website, and you just have to take your time going through the pictures to assemble this. So this is where we are right now. This goes up and down real smoothly through here. The next thing is to put the conduit pipes in on the side and see how aligned we are there. That's the gantry, the sides and the rails all in. We've got movement on all axes. I'd like it to be a little bit smoother. I'm going to have to work on some of the tension mounts and see if we can make that go a little bit smoother. But as far as the mechanical part, I think we're pretty much together here. The electronics will be attacked this week, and we'll go from there. Thanks very much for taking a look.